Members of the Senate, a quorum has been established. Would the members and our guests beyond the rail and in the gallery please rise? We will be led in prayer this afternoon by our chaplain, Rabbi Mona Alfi, after which please remain standing. We will be led in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag by Senator Calderon.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Each of us has our own mountains to climb in life, heights we hope to scale, obstacles to overcome. But as we face these mountains of ours, we would do well to heed the advice of Sir Edmund Hillary, who said, "It is not the mountain we conquer, but ourselves." It is easy to get awed or intimidated by the mountains that loom before us. But even if what we seek to do seems as daunting as climbing Everest itself, we must first look inward to find the tools we need to endure the trials that we face. We pray to the Holy One, the Creator of us all, to open up our eyes to the unrealized possibilities ready to be awakened within ourselves. May this be God's will. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Robert. Privileges of the floor, if any. Reports of the committee. Mr. Secretary, please read, if any.
Mr. President, the Chair of the Committee on Appropriations, to which was referred Senate Bill 135, 364, reports the same back with recommendation that the above measures be placed on second reading pursuant to Senate Bill 28.8. Mr. President, the Chair of the Committee on Appropriations, to which was referred Senate Bill 212, 601, 602, 603, reports the same back with author's amendments with recommendation amend and re-refer to committee with amendments at the desk. Mr. President, the Chair on the Committee on Appropriations, to which was referred Senate Bill 548, Senate Bill 625, reports the same back with author's amendments with recommendation amend and re-refer to the committee. Amendments at the desk.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. We will deem the committee reports read and the amendments adopted. Motions, resolutions, and notices, members. Senator Correa moves that SB 52, file item number 80, be removed from special consent calendar for purposes of amendments. And members, that takes us to the consideration of the daily file. We will take up the daily file on Senate third reading at file item number 27. Members, file item number 27, Senator Alquist, passed temporarily. File item 28, Senator Negrete McLeod. Passed temporarily. File item 29, Senator Lowenthal, not at his desk. File item 30, Senator Yee, not at his desk. File item 31, Senator Cedillo, absent. File item 32, Senator Lowenthal, not at his desk. File item 33, Senator DeSaulnier, not at his desk. File item 34, Senator Leno, not at his desk. File item 35, Senator Lieu, passed temporarily. File item 36, Senator Lowenthal, not at his desk. File item 37, Senator Flores, absent. File item 38, Senator Ashburn. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 182 by Senator Ashburn, an act relating to community colleges.
Mr. President and the Senators, all of us are very familiar with the nursing shortage in our state and the struggles that our hospitals, our clinics, and our doctors are having in providing sufficient nurses to meet the health care needs of the people. We need to be able to train and to provide the education of more nurses through our community colleges, and this measure allows those instructors to come onto the campuses to provide that nursing education that will help to create more nurses to improve the health care of the citizens of California, and I ask for your aye vote.
Debate or discussion? Debate or discussion, members. Senator Weil.
Just a question of the author. Are these limitations that currently exist in statute, or are they determined by individual schools, or how is that determined?
Obviously, because we have a measure before us, it is a change to statute. The limits on individuals coming onto a college campus to provide instruction make it such that the instructors are not able to be on campus for a long enough period of time to complete the coursework, to provide, in this instance, the clinical instruction that these nursing students need. And so we need to change the law in order to provide sufficient instructors so that our students can learn and we can gain from that more qualified nurses in our own state. Thanks for the question.
Thank you, Senator Ashburn. I strongly, strongly support this legislation. It is utterly necessary. I had thought that possibly it was a form of instructing individual district boards that had such rules, but if it's in statute, we definitely need to change it. The nursing shortage that exists has been created by the failure of public institutions to take up the challenge of training nurses. If you go into almost any doctor's office and you talk to the nurses, typically half of them or more have paid through loans through private nursing instruction. The earlier era, nurses were trained in hospitals. Some of us still remember that. And there were not shortages. Since it's been taken over by or assigned to the public system, there are enormous shortages, and we need this so that we can help try to prevent that. This is very important. Urgent aye vote.
Further debate or discussion? Senator Duchesne.
Just a question to the author. Perhaps he can just answer on his close. One of the notes that I have here suggests that, I think it's on the opposition arguments, that there was legislation passed last year from Senator Scott,
right,
and I'm trying to understand how the two interact or why you need this one now.
Right. Senator Scott's very good legislation provided for additional semesters for instructors to be on the campuses. The problem is that the nursing program extends beyond the allowable time, and so in order to provide, in fact, some of the community colleges are faced with the circumstance of having to terminate those instructors, which would then terminate the instruction for those students. So this is the logical next step to provide a longer opportunity on the campuses for the instructors that we need. Thanks, Senator Duchesne, for that question.
Further debate or discussion? Seeing none, Senator Ashburn, you may close.
Again, acknowledging a very serious problem in our state, and that is the nursing shortage and the very big cost to our hospitals, our doctors, to our clinics in having to bring nurses in from other states or from other countries in order to meet a California shortage. This is a very reasonable step in the right direction. I ask for your aye vote.
Secretary, call the roll.
Onnested. Aye. Alquist. Aye. Ashburn. Aye. Benoit. Aye. Calderon. Aye. Cedillo. Cogdill. Aye. Corbett. No. Correa. Aye. Cox. Aye. Denham. Aye. DeSaulnier. No. Duchesne. Aye. Dutton. Aye. Flores. Hancock. No. Harmon. Aye. Hollingsworth. Aye. Huff. Aye. Kehoe. Aye. Leno. Liu. Aye. Lowenthal. Maldonado. Negrete McLeod. Oropesa. Padilla. Aye. Pavley. Romero. Runner. Aye. Semidian.
Aye.
Aye. Steinberg. Aye. Strickland. Aye. Walters. Aye. Wiggins. Aye. Wiggins, no. Wolk. Aye. Wright. Aye. Weiland. Aye. Yee. Yee, no. Maldonado, aye. Mr. President, ayes 26, noes 5.
Ayes 26, noes 5. The measure is passed. Members, we're going to return to file item number 30, Senate Bill number 447, Senator Yee. Secretary will read.
Senate Bill 447 by Senator Yee, an act relating to criminal records.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. And Senators, this is a rather straightforward bill. Thousands of agencies in California work with children and other vulnerable populations and are therefore required to conduct criminal background checks on these employees.
One moment, Senator Yee. Members, if we could have quiet for the Senator's presentation, please.
Each group must appoint a custodian of records to review the background checks to assess if their employees' criminal history poses a potential danger to the population they serve. There is a problem within the system that we have, and that is the inherent conflict of interest, because the custodian of record now reviews his or her own record. So what this bill will do is to create a new program, and it's fee-based, whereby the Attorney General's office will then handle that particular review of that particular custodian of record. That's all this bill does. This will provide an opportunity for independence in verification of the qualifications of this custodian of record. Urge an aye vote.
Debate or discussion? Seeing and hearing none, Secretary, call the roll.
Onnested? No. Alquist? Aye. Ashburn? Benoit? Calderon? Cedillo? Cogdill? Aye. Corbett? Aye. Correa? Aye. Cox? Aye. Denham? Aye. DeSaulnier? Duchesne? Dutton? Flores? Hancock? Aye. Harmon? Aye. Hollingsworth? Aye. Huff? Aye. Kehoe? Aye. Leno? Aye. Liu? Aye. Lowenthal? Aye. Maldonado? Aye. Negrete McLeod? Aye. Oropesa? Padilla? Aye. Pavley? Romero? Runner? Aye. Semidian?
Aye.
Aye. Steinberg? Aye. Strickland? Aye. Walters? Aye. Wiggins? Aye. Wolk? Aye. Wright? Aye. Weiland? Aye. Yee? Yee, aye. Ashburn? Aye. DeSaulnier? Aye. Calderon? Aye. Duchesne? Aye. Benoit? Aye. Dutton? Aye. Okay, Mr. President, ayes 33, noes 1.
Ayes 33, noes 1. The bill is passed. File item 34, Senator Leno, now at his desk. Secretary will read.
Senate Bill 678 by Senator Leno, an act relating to probation and making an appropriation therefore.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm pleased to be able to present SB 678, which is sponsored by the Chief Probation Officers and is jointly authored by Senator Benoit. We have over 270,000 felony probationers in our community. 40% of our new admissions to state prison, over 20,000, are those who are failing their probation. So to the degree that we can keep folks successful in their probation, keep them non-offending, keep them in the community, we can finally begin to lower our inmate population. With the savings from that lowering of our inmate population, we will have a stream of revenue to be able to continue to invest in the programs that will keep felony probationers successful in their probation and keep our community safer at the same time. I'd ask for your aye vote.
Debate or discussion? Debate or discussion? Seeing and hearing none, Secretary, call the roll.
Onnested? Aye. Alquist? Aye. Ashburn? Aye. Benoit? Aye. Calderon? Cedillo? Cogdill? Aye. Corbett? Aye. Correa? Aye. Cox? Aye. Denham? Aye. DeSaulnier? Aye. Duchesne? Aye. Dutton? Aye. Flores? Hancock? Aye. Harmon? Aye. Hollingsworth? Aye. Huff? Aye. Kehoe? Aye. Leno? Aye. Liu? Aye. Lowenthal? Aye. Maldonado? Aye. Negrete McLeod? Aye. Oropesa? Padilla? Aye. Pavley? Aye. Romero? Runner? Aye. Semidian? Aye. Steinberg? Aye. Strickland? Aye. Walters? Wiggins? Aye. Wolk? Aye. Wright? Aye. Wyland? Aye. Yee? Yee, aye. Mr. President, ayes 33, no 0.
Ayes 33, noes 0. Bill is passed. Members, we will return to file order. Senate Bill number 309, file item 39. File item 39, Senator Ducheney.
Okay.
Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 309 by Senator Ducheney, an act relating to public resources.
Thank you very much, Mr. President and members. This bill relates to our Conservation Corps program as we face a period of difficult economics and many people unemployed and the additional problems that we face with escalating costs in our prisons, just referred to by Senator Leno. Conservation Corps is one of those programs that addresses multiple needs. At-risk youth, training for jobs, training for education. It has been a good program for us. And what we're doing with this is targeting a little bit of their recruitment as we get additional funds. The federal funds have just come in. They're doing brush management clearance and some other things with federal dollars. But we want them to target our foster kids and our emancipated foster youth in particular. We know that's a target group to help keep out of prison. We also know that it's a group that if we provide effective housing and effective job training services can become those productive members of society you all want to see. Ask for your aye vote.
Debate or discussion? Debate or discussion? Seeing and hearing none, Secretary, call the roll.
Onestad? No. Alquist? Aye. Ashburn? Aye. Benoit? Aye. Calderon? Aye. Cedillo? Cogdill? No. Corbett? Aye. Correa? Aye. Cox? Aye. Denham? No. Dusanier? Aye. Ducheney? Aye. Dutton? Aye. Flores? Hancock? Aye. Harmon? Hollingsworth? Huff? Kehoe? Aye. Leno? Aye. Liu? Aye. Lowenthal? Aye. Maldonado? Aye. Negrete McLeod? Aye. Oropesa? Padilla? Aye. Pavley? Aye. Romero? Runner? Semidian?
Aye.
Aye. Steinberg? Aye. Strickland? No. Walters? No. Wiggins? Aye. Wolk? Aye. Wright? Aye. Wyland? No. Yee? Yee, aye. Mr. President, ayes 25, no 6.
Ayes 25, no 6. The bill is passed. File item 40, Senator Oropesa, not at her desk. File item 41, Senator Wiggins. Pass. File item 42, Senator Pavley. Secretary will read.
Senate Bill 757 by Senator Pavley, an act relating to lead.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Members, Senate Bill 757 simply codifies a settlement between Chrysler and 3 leading lead wheel weight manufacturers, which agreed to a phase-out of leaded wheel weights as part of a landmark legal settlement approved by the Alameda Superior Court. This bill would simply codify that settlement. It's a bill sponsored by the Center for Environmental Health and the Clean Water Action. It has no known opposition. Lead, as you know, is highly toxic, and it continues to contaminate our drinking water and other surrounding environmental related problems. This bill would ban both the sale and the installation of leaded wheel weights on cars and trucks. It helps level the playing field. For all involved, I ask for your aye vote.
Debate or discussion? Seeing and hearing none, Secretary, call the roll.
Onestad? No. Alquist? Aye. Ashburn? No. Benoit? No. Calderon? Aye. Cedillo? Cogdill? No. Corbett? Aye. Correa? Cox? No. Denham? No. DeSaulnier? Aye. Ducheney? Dutton? No. Flores? Hancock? Aye. Harmon? Aye. Hollingsworth? No. Huff? No. Kehoe? Leno? Aye. Liu? Aye. Lowenthal? Aye. Maldonado? Aye. Negrete McLeod? Aye. Oropesa? Padilla? Aye. Pavley? Aye. Romero? Runner? No. Semidian? Aye. Steinberg? Aye. Strickland? Walters? No. Wiggins? Aye. Wolk? Aye. Wright? Wyland? Yee? Yee, aye. Correa, aye. Kehoe, aye. Strickland, no. Mr. President.
Call the absent members.
Cedillo, Ducheney, Flores, Oropesa, Romero, Wright, Wyland. Wyland, no. Ducheney, aye. Mr. President, ayes 21, noes 13.
Ayes 21, noes 13. The bill is passed. File item 43, Senator Wiggins. Passed and Burley. File item 44, Senator Ducheney. Secretary will read.
Senate Bill 816 by Senator Ducheney, an act relating to taxation.
Thank you very much. Mr. President and members, this bill, sponsored by the County Assessors Organization, would encourage, would require that a change in ownership and transfer of power, that would be like stock ownership, title ownership, be filed promptly with the State Board of Equalization within 45 days of an acquisition or change in control. There is no current penalty for failure to do so. This would impose a 10% penalty upon written request from the BOE for the information. The penalty could accrue after that if someone did not comply. Currently, members, many of our county assessors, county recorders don't get this information, and they are then unable to determine if there has been a change in ownership for purposes of property tax assessment, for purposes of documentary tax transfer taxes, and other important pieces that support our tax infrastructure. This would at least require that notification of stock transfers to go to the Board of Equalization, and then allow others to do their jobs in a timely manner to determine what assessments might be appropriate. Ask for your aye vote. Does not increase any of their current obligations.
Debate or discussion? Seeing and hearing none, Secretary, call the roll.
Onestad? No. Alquist? Aye. Ashburn? Aye. Benoit? Aye. Calderon? Aye. Cedillo? Cogdill? Aye. Corbett? Aye. Correa? Cox? Aye. Denham? Aye. DeSaulnier? Aye. Ducheney? Aye. Dutton? Aye. Flores? Hancock? Aye. Harmon? Aye. Hollingsworth? Huff? Aye. Kehoe? Aye. Leno? Aye. Liu? Aye. Lowenthal? Aye. Maldonado? Aye. Negrete McLeod? Aye. Oropesa? Padilla? Aye. Pavley? Aye. Romero? Runner? Semidian?
Aye.
Aye. Steinberg? Aye. Strickland? Aye. Walters? No. Wiggins? Aye. Wolk? Aye. Wright? Aye. Wyland? Aye. Yee? Yee, aye. Runner, aye. Correa, aye. Mr. President, ayes 32, noes 2.
Ayes 32, noes 2. The bill is passed. File item 45, Senator Negrete McLeod. Pass. File item 46, Senator Corbett, not at her desk. File item 47, Senator Lowenthal. Pass. File item 48, Senator Leno. Pass. File item 49, Senator Wiggins. Pass. File item 50, Senator Yee, not at his desk. File item 51, Senator Harmon. Secretary will read.
Senate Bill 589 by Senator Harmon, an act relating to hunting.
Thank you, Mr. President and members. SB 589 ensures that hunting license tag and stamp funds are expended to benefit the game species for which the tag is required. Will also be used to enhance the habitats of those particular species. Current law, particularly as it relates to bear and deer tag monies, does not always require that the monies be used for that dedicated purpose. For instance, in the case of deer tags, recently as recent as 2006, only 62% of the tag money was used to help that particular species. This is a consumer-friendly bill. It will provide transparency. It also allows hunting-related organizations an opportunity to review proposed projects and provide commentary to the Department of Fish and Game. Respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Debate or discussion? Seeing and hearing none, Secretary, call the roll.
Onestad? Aye. Alquist? Aye. Ashburn? Aye. Benoit? Calderon? Cedillo? Cogdill? Aye. Corbett? Aye. Correa? Aye. Cox? Aye. Denham? Aye. DeSaulnier? Aye. Ducheney? Dutton? Aye. Flores? Hancock? Aye. Harmon? Aye. Hollingsworth? Aye. Huff? Kehoe? Aye. Leno? Aye. Liu? Aye. Lowenthal? Aye. Maldonado? Aye. Negrete McLeod? Aye. Oropesa? Padilla? Aye. Pavley? Aye. Romero? Runner? Aye. Smidian?
Aye.
Aye. Steinberg? Strickland? Aye. Walters? Aye. Wiggins? Aye. Wolk? Aye. Wright? Aye. Wyland? Aye. Yee? Yee, aye. Okay. Calderon? Aye. Okay. Oropesa? Aye. Ducheney? Aye. Benoit? Aye. Mr. President, ayes 34, no 0.
Ayes 34, no 0. The bill is passed. File item 52, Senator Hollingsworth. Secretary will read.
Senate Bill 668 by Senator Hollingsworth, an act relating to sex offenders.
Thank you, Mr. President. Senators, this is a measure that addresses the problem when sex offenders provide false information on their Megan's Law registration forms. Recent amendments that were taken in Senate Public Safety clarify the penalties by stating that the misdemeanor penalty in the Penal Code does not limit or prevent prosecution under any other applicable provision of the law. It's sponsored by the San Diego County District Attorney's Office. It has received no votes in committee, and I ask for your aye vote.
Debate or discussion, members? Debate or discussion? Seeing and hearing none, Secretary, call the roll.
Onestad? Aye. Alquist? Aye. Ashburn? Aye. Benoit? Aye. Calderon? Aye. Cedillo? Cogdill? Aye. Corbett? Aye. Correa? Aye. Cox? Aye. Denham? Aye. DeSaulnier? Aye. Ducheney? Aye. Dutton? Aye. Flores? Hancock? Aye. Harmon? Hollingsworth? Aye. Huff? Aye. Kehoe? Aye. Leno? Aye. Liu? Aye. Lowenthal? Aye. Maldonado? Aye. Negrete McLeod? Aye. Oropesa? Aye. Padilla? Aye. Pavley? Aye. Romero? Runner? Aye. Simidian? Aye. Steinberg? Aye. Strickland? Aye. Walters? Aye. Wiggins? I. Wolk. I. Wright. I. Weiland. I. Yee. Yee, I. Harmon, I.
Secretary, call the absent members.
Cedillo, Flores, Romero. Mr. President, ayes 36, no 0.
Ayes 36, no 0. The bill is passed. File item 53, Senator Leno. Pass. File item 54, Senator Oropesa, not at her desk. File item 55, Senator Kehoe. Secretary will read.
Senate Bill 527 by Senator Kehoe, an act relating to bicycles.
Thank you, Mr. President. This bill clarifies that our state law allows that it is legal to operate a seatless bicycle if the design and manufacture of the bicycle never included a seat. Not removing the seat never included it. The modern bicycle has changed to include a step walker type of bicycle that operates a lot like the stationary exercise machines that you see. These more modern bicycles meet the definition of bicycle under California Vehicle Code, but they do not conform to other provisions of the law requiring that a bicycle operator be astride or on a seat. It passed Senate Transportation and Housing with a 9-2 vote last week. The bill will still remain subject to an approval process by the California Bicycle Advisory Committee, and I ask for your aye vote.
Debate or discussion? Senator Padilla on this item? Debate or discussion?
And I'll just close by saying this is California innovation at its best.
Secretary will call the roll.
Onnested. Alquist. I. Ashburn. I. Benoit. I. Calderon. I. Cedillo. Cogdill. I. Corbett. I. Correa. I. Cox. Denham. DeSaulnier. I. Ducheney. I. Dutton. Flores. Hancock. I. Harmon. I. Hollingsworth. Huff. Kehoe. I. Leno. I. Liu. I. Lowenthal. I. Maldonado. I. Negrete McLeod. I. Oropesa. I. Padilla. I. Pavley. I. Romero. Runner. Simidian. I. Steinberg. I. Strickland. Walters. Wiggins. I. Wolk. I. Wright. Weiland. I. Yee. Yee, I. Huff, I. Cox, no. Wright, I. Hollingsworth, I. Denham, I. Mr. President, Strickland, I. Runner, I.
Secretary, call the absent members.
Onnested. Cedillo. Dutton. Dutton, I. Flores. Romero. Walters. Mr. President, ayes 33, noes 1.
Ayes 33, noes 1. The bill is passed. File item 56, Senator Oropesa, not at her desk. File item 57, Senator Corbett. Secretary will read.
Senate Bill 140 by Senator Corbett, an act relating to nurseries and declaring the urgency thereof to take effect immediately.
Thank you, Mr. President and members. Senate Bill 140 gives the Department of Food and Agriculture the authority to create a mandatory citrus nursery stock pest cleanliness program that will establish inspection requirements and testing standards. This bill will protect California nurseries from severe losses resulting from devastating diseases like citrus canker and greening, which unfortunately has been causing serious problems in other states. These diseases damage and kill citrus trees, reduce yields and quality, and increase costs for planting materials and regulatory compliance. Citrus is a very significant part of California's $23 billion agricultural industry, with the annual value of citrus fruit produced in California exceeding $1 billion, $25 million specifically from citrus trees produced by California citrus nurseries. I'd like to thank the Agriculture Secretary for support and willingness to work with us along with all the stakeholders involved. We had the support on this bill of the California Citrus Mutual and the California Association of Nurseries and Garden Centers, and this bill has received strong bipartisan support as it's moved through the committees. And I'd ask for your aye vote.
Debate or discussion? Seeing and hearing none, Secretary, call the roll.
Onestad? No. Alquist? Aye. Ashburn? Benoit? Aye. Calderon? Aye. Cedillo? Cogdill? Aye. Corbett? Aye. Correa? No. Cox? Aye. Denham? Aye. DeSaulnier? Aye. Duchesne? Aye. Dutton? No. Flores? Hancock? Aye. Harmon? Aye. Hollingsworth? No. Huff? Aye. Kehoe? Aye. Leno? Aye. Liu? Aye. Lowenthal? Aye. Maldonado? Aye. Negrete McLeod? Oropesa? Aye. Padilla? Aye. Pavley? Romero? Runner? Aye. Smidian?
Aye.
Aye. Steinberg? Aye. Strickland? Aye. Walters? No. Wiggins? Aye. Wolk? Aye. Wright? Aye. Weiland? Aye. Yee? Yee, aye. Ashburn, aye. Mr. President, ayes 29, noes 5.
Ayes 29, noes 5 on the urgency. Ayes 29, noes 5 on the bill. The bill is passed. File item 58, Senator Yee. Secretary will read.
Senate Bill 662 by Senator Yee, an act relating to horse racing.
Thank you very much, Mr. President and Senators. SB 662 is really about preserving the integrity of the horse racing in California. What this bill will do is to expand the responsibility of the California Horse Racing Board to provide independent, real-time transaction monitoring all pari-mutuel wagering on California horse races. We've had a number of cases where it was not clear as to what happens to bets that are placed and whether or not they were accurately placed. This type of real-time monitoring will ensure that particular integrity. I am also aware of the fact that there's some questions within the horse racing industry as to whether or not there should be a national standard that all states will follow. I'm cognizant of that, and so I will continue to work with the stakeholders to craft a consensus legislation. I am committed that if we cannot come up with that consensus legislation, then this bill will not move to the governor's desk. There's been no votes in both the Policy and Fiscal Committee. Urge an aye vote.
Members, we are advised that this measure is inaccurately marked in our daily file. There is no appropriation at this time. This is a 21-vote bill. Is there debate or discussion? Seeing and hearing none, Secretary, call the roll.
Onestad? Aye. Alquist? Aye. Ashburn? Benoit? Aye. Calderon? Cedillo? Cogdill? Aye. Corbett? Aye. Correa? Aye. Cox? Aye. Denham? Aye. DeSaulnier? Aye. Duchesne? Aye. Dutton? Aye. Flores? Hancock? Aye. Harmon? Aye. Hollingsworth? Huff? Aye. Kehoe? Aye. Leno? Aye. Liu? Aye. Lowenthal? Aye. Maldonado? Aye. Negrete McLeod? Aye. Oropesa? Oropesa, aye. Padilla? Aye. Pavley? Aye. Romero? Runner? Aye. Smidian? Aye. Steinberg? Aye. Strickland? Aye. Walters? Aye. Wiggins? Aye. Wolk? Aye. Wright? Aye. Weiland? Aye. Yee? Yee, aye. Ashburn, aye. Mr. President, ayes 34, no 0.
Ayes 34, no 0. The bill is passed. File item 59. Secretary will read.
Senate Bill 202 by Senator Harmon, an act relating to private investigators.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members, this bill would require licensed investigators to obtain 12 hours of continuing education every 2 years. Even though California's private investigators are licensed and regulated by the state, there is no current requirement providing the opportunity for investigators to learn of newly enacted laws, nor is there a compendium of applicable laws for investigators to educate themselves. This bill is sponsored by the California Association of Licensed Investigators and is supported by a number of their members. I ask for your aye vote.
Any objection to substituting unanimous roll call? There is objection. Debate or discussion? Secretary, call the roll.
Onnested. Aye. Alquist. Aye. Ashburn. Aye. Benoit. Aye. Calderon. Cedillo. Cogdill. Aye. Corbett. Aye. Correa. Aye. Cox. Aye. Denham. DeSaulnier. Aye. Ducheney. Aye. Dutton. Aye. Flores. Hancock. Aye. Harmon. Aye. Hollingsworth. Huff. Kehoe. Aye. Leno. Aye. Liu. Aye. Lowenthal. Aye. Maldonado. Aye. Negrete McLeod. Aye. Oropesa. Aye. Padilla. Aye. Pavley. Romero. Runner. Aye. Samidian. Aye. Steinberg. Aye. Strickland. Aye. Walters. Aye. Wiggins. Aye. Wolk. Aye. Wright. Aye. Weiland. Aye. Yee. Yee, aye. Huff, aye. Denham, aye. Mr. President, ayes 33, no 0.
Ayes 33, no 0. The bill is passed. File item 60, Senator Yee. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 219 by Senator Yee, an act relating to improper governmental activities.
Thank you very much, Mr. President and Senators. SB 219 is a rather straightforward and simple bill. What it does is to provide UC employers with the same whistleblower protection and legal standing as all other state employees. The current situation that we have right now within the UC is that they are, in fact, the judge and jury on any of these kinds of grievances. If you want to redress whatever the concerns may be, you have to face UC as both the judge and jury. This will then cut loose that conflict of interest. And with that, let me share a little bit of a background. Last year, the California State Supreme Court ruled unanimously that UC employees who are retaliated against because they are reporting wrongdoings cannot sue for damages under state whistleblower protection as long as UC itself reviews that complaint in a timely fashion. The ruling uncovered an oversight made by the legislature when the act was amended in 2001, which provided legal standing for all other state employees, including employees of the CSU, to seek damages. What the three judges of the California State Supreme Court asked or said was that the court's reading of the act, making the university the judge of its own civil liability and leaving its employees vulnerable to retaliation for reporting abuses, thwarts the demonstrated legislative intent to protect those employees and thereby encourage candid reporting. The same governmental organization that has tried to silence the reporting employees also sit in final judgment of the employees' retaliation. The laws protecting against retaliation is illusionary. So what this bill will do is to respond to what the Chief Justice has talked about, which is to provide that independence. With that, urge an aye vote.
Debate or discussion? Seeing and hearing none, Secretary, call the roll.
Onestad? No. Alquist? Aye. Ashburn? No. Benoit? No. Calderon? Cedillo? Cogdill? No. Corbett? Aye. Correa? Aye. Cox? No. Denham? DeSaulnier? Aye. Ducheney? Aye. Dutton? No. Flores? Hancock? Aye. Harmon? No. Hollingsworth? No. Huff? No. Kehoe? Aye. Leno? Aye. Lou? Lowenthal? Aye. Maldonado? Negrete McLeod? Aye. Oropesa? Aye. Padilla? Aye. Pavley? Romero? Runner? No. Simidian? Aye. Steinberg? Aye. Strickland? No. Walters? No. Wiggins? Wolk? Wright? Aye. Weiland? No. Yee? Yee, aye. Denham, no. Mr. President, I-16, noes 14.
I-16, noes 14. Call the absent members.
Calderon, Cedillo, Flores, Lou, no. Maldonado, Pavley, Romero, Wiggins, aye. Wolk. Mr. President, I-17, noes 15.
I-17, noes 15. Senator Yee moves a call. File item 61, Senator Dutton. Secretary will read.
Senate Bill 430 by Senator Dutton, an act relating to redevelopment.
Mr. Chairman and members, this grants the San Bernardino County redevelopment officials 5 more years to build public works projects in the Cedar Glen disaster recovery area. This was an area that was devastated during the 2003 fires. In order to do it right, they requested an additional 5-year extension on the time originally granted to them. Respectfully request an aye vote. This is a district bill. Thank you.
Debate or discussion? Seeing and hearing none, Secretary, call the roll.
Onestad? Aye. Alquist? Aye. Ashburn? Aye. Benoit? Aye. Calderon? Cedillo? Cogdill? Aye. Corbett? Aye. Correa? Cox? Aye. Denham? Aye. DeSaulnier? Duchesne? Aye. Dutton? Aye. Flores? Hancock? Aye. Harmon? Aye. Hollingsworth? Aye. Huff? Aye. Leno? Aye. Oops. Lou? Aye. Lowenthal? Aye. Maldonado? Aye. Negrete McLeod? Aye. Oropesa? Aye. Padilla? Aye. Pavley? Romero? Runner? Aye. Simidian?
Aye.
Aye. Steinberg? Aye. Strickland? Aye. Walters? Aye. Wiggins? Aye. Wolk? Aye. Wright? Aye. Weiland? Yee? Yee, aye. DeSaulnier, aye. Kehoe, aye. Calderon, aye. Mr. President, ayes 33, no 0.
Ayes 33, no 0. The bill is passed. File item 62, Senator Alquist. Secretary will read.
Senate Concurrent Resolution 36 by Senator Alquist relative to adolescent health.
Thank you, Mr. President and members. According to a UC San Francisco study released December 2008, nearly 2/3 of our adolescents do not get the minimum recommended level of preventative health care services. SCR 36 recognizes and commends the state for a number of preventative health programs instituted within DPH education and health care services. This measure also encourages California to continue supporting the improvement of educational outreach efforts to prevent chronic diseases and to promote healthcare programs in schools and other institutions for all adolescents. I ask for your aye vote.
Senator Strickland.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members, I rise in support of this measure. I'm happy to work with the chairwoman of the Health Committee as vice chair of the Health. I think it's a critical period of our future for our kids and making sure that we maintain proper eating and proper health habits as young people, particularly if we're going to solve the long-term health care crisis that we have here in the state of California. For those reasons, I ask for your aye vote.
Further debate or discussion? Debate or discussion, members. Senator Alquist, you may close.
Ask for your aye vote.
Secretary, call the roll.
Onestad? Aye. Alquist? Aye. Ashburn? Benoit? Aye. Calderon? Aye. Cedillo? Cogdill? Aye. Corbett? Aye. Correa? Aye. Cox? Aye. Denham? Aye. DeSaulnier? Aye. Ducheney? Aye. Dutton? Aye. Flores? Hancock? Aye. Harmon? Aye. Hollingsworth? Huff? Aye. Kehoe? Aye. Leno? Aye. Liu? Aye. Lowenthal? Aye. Maldonado? Aye. Negrete McLeod? Aye. Oropesa? Aye. Padilla? Aye. Pavley? Romero? Runner? Aye. Semidian? Aye. Steinberg? Aye. Strickland? Aye. Walters? Wiggins? Aye. Wolk? Aye. Wright? Aye. Weiland? Yee? Yee, aye. Ashburn, aye. Hollingsworth, aye. Mr. President, ayes 33, no 0.
Ayes 33, noes 0. The resolution is adopted. File item 63, Senator Yee.
Senate Concurrent Resolution 41 by Senator Yee relative to California Micro Enterprise Development Month.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Senators, this measure recognizes July as the California Micro Enterprise Development Month and acknowledges the contributions of micro entrepreneurs and the value of micro enterprise development in California's economy. Micro enterprise is a business with 5 or fewer employees, which require $35,000 or less to start up in startup capital, and which does not have access to traditional commercial banking sector. Microenterprise development is really the process by which many individuals start thinking about, start practicing how to develop their own business through a lot of training, technical assistance, support services, and micro loans to individuals starting and operating these microenterprise business. What this measure would do is declare July 2009 and July of every other year after that as California Microenterprise Development Month. With that, urge an aye vote.
Debate or discussion? Any objection to the unanimous roll call? Ayes 36, noes 0. File item 64, Senator Negrete McLeod. Pass on file. File item 65, Senator Lowenthal. Senator Lowenthal not at his desk. Members, pass temporarily. Members, we are going to return to the beginning of the Senate third reading file item number 11, and move quickly through the file to see if there are any members who would like to present. File item 11, Senator Liu, pass. File item 12, Senator Calderon, pass. File item 13, Senator Ducheney. Secretary will read.
Senate Joint Resolution 1 by Senator Ducheney relative to the Sales Tax Fairness and Simplification Act.
Members, this is something we have tried in the past, but there is urgent demand by all states that the federal government address the concern that all of us have that we are unable to collect, not to charge, but to collect sales tax that would normally be due to the state under current law. This is not an increase. It is the use tax that is due to the state when we purchase catalogs and internet. But under current situation, we can only collect that, or the only companies that collect it on our behalf are those who have physical presence in California. There is litigation in New York over this issue with Amazon.com. And the federal government could help resolve it by finding a way, as this resolution urges, to allow the states to compact, to allow a streamlined sales tax that many smaller states have entered into, some version of those to go forward, so that we would have the venue to allow us to collect that sales tax, which is due to us, but which is difficult to collect because we don't all keep track of our very small receipts or our small purchases online or through catalogs throughout the year. We do ask people to pay that sales tax at the end of the year, but if we could collect, as we do all other sales tax, ask businesses to collect it, it would be, frankly, it currently is creating what I think is an inequity for businesses who are California-based, who do pay California sales tax, property tax. Employees are disadvantaged to out-of-state firms because those out-of-state firms are not asked to meet their same standard and the burden of collecting on behalf of the state. Ask for your aye vote in these very difficult fiscal times.
Debate or discussion? Seeing and hearing none, Secretary, call the roll.
Onestad? No. Alquist? Aye. Ashburn? No. Benoit? No. Calderon? Aye. Cedillo? Cogdill? No. Corbett? Aye. Correa? No. Cox? No. Denham? No. DeSaulnier? Aye. Duchesne? Aye. Dutton? No. Flores? Hancock? Aye. Harmon? No. Hollingsworth? No. Huff? No. Kehoe? Aye. Leno? Aye. Liu? Aye. Lowenthal? Aye. Maldonado? No. Negrete McLeod? Aye. Oropesa? Aye. Padilla? Aye. Pavley? Romero? Runner? No. Semidian?
Aye.
Aye. Steinberg? Aye. Strickland? No. Walters? No. Wiggins? Wolk? Aye. Wright? Aye. Wyland? No. Yee? Yee, aye.
Call the absent members.
Cedillo? Flores? Pavley? Romero? Wiggins? Wiggins, aye. Mr. President, ayes 19, no 16.
Call the absent members.
Cedillo? Flores? Pavley? Romero?
Ayes 19, no 16. Senator Duchesne moves the call. File item 14, Senator Hancock. Pass. File item 15, Senator Corbett. Pass. File item 16, Senator DeSaulnier. Senator DeSaulnier? Pass. File item 17 requires amendments. File item 18, Senator Pavley. Not at her desk. File item 19, Senator Alquist. Pass. File item 20, Senator Wright. File item 20, Senator Wright. Not at his desk. File item 21, Senator Cedillo. Not at his desk. File item 22, Senator Steinberg. Pass. File item 23, Senator Wyland. File item 22, Senator Steinberg. Secretary will read.
Senate Concurrent Resolution 35 by Senator Steinberg, relative to Foster Care Month.
It's about time, Mr. President, to confront the difficulties of this measure. This measure would declare May 2009 Foster Care Month, and since it is in fact the month of May, I would ask you to pass this. This is actually a very serious subject, and you know, last week we had the young people from the California Youth Connection here advocating on behalf of a better child welfare system. The state has begun to make strides. We have a long way to go to create more permanency, to create more relationships, adult relationships for these young people, more educational opportunities, and to see them as our kids, which they are. I'd urge an aye vote on the resolution.
Debate or discussion, members? Any objection to the unanimous roll call? Without objection, ayes 36, noes 0. The resolution is adopted. File item 23, Senator Wyland. File item, not at his desk. File item 24, Senator Leno. Pass. File item 25, Senator Wolk. Pass. File item 26, Senator Wolk. Pass. File item 27, Senator Alquist. Pass. And members, that completes the third reading. We do have two measures on file. If we could ask members who have stepped, on call. We do have members off the floor. If you could return to the floor so we can lift the call on these final two items before we take up the consent calendar and special consent calendar. Measures on call. File item 60, SB 219. Senator Yee lifts the call. Will the Secretary call the absentees?
Calderon. Aye. Cedillo. Flores. Maldonado. Pavley. Romero. Wolk. Maldonado, aye.
Call the absent members.
Cedillo. Flores. Pavley. Wolk.
Close the roll. Announce the vote.
Ayes 19, noes 15.
Ayes 19, noes 15. The measure fails. Senator Yee requests reconsideration. Granted without objection. Members, that takes us to file item 13. This measure is on call. Secretary, call the absent members. File item 13. Secretary, call the absent.
Cedillo. Flores. Pavley. Romero.
Secretary will close the roll and announce the vote. Ayes 19, noes 16. The resolution is not adopted. Senator Duchesne requests reconsideration without objection. Unanimous roll call on the motion for reconsideration. Ayes 36, noes 0. Members, that brings us to the consent calendar and special consent. Without objection, we will substitute the unanimous roll call. On consent, without objection, ayes 36, noes 0. The consent calendar and special consent calendar is adopted. If there is no other business, Senator Steinberg. The desk is clear. Senator Steinberg. If there is no other business, the desk is clear.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Make an announcement that the Appropriations Committee will reconvene in room 4203 immediately after this session. Tomorrow is Election Day. It's also a check-in session. Wednesday as well will be a check-in session. We'll resume here Thursday at 9 o'clock. Probably be, don't know the length of the session yet, potentially till noon, but probably shorter as we are keeping a pace on our file. So those are my announcements.
Thank you, Senator Steinberg. The Senate will be in recess until...
Hold on. Yeah.
Senator Steinberg?
Yeah, people can go. Tomorrow's check-in.
Check-in on Tuesday, check-in on Wednesday, session Thursday, 9 a.m. The Senate will be in recess until 3:30, at which time the adjournment motion will be made. We will reconvene Thursday at 9 a.m. The meeting is adjourned.